Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. Editor's note, I just want to give everyone a quick heads up that we do talk about spoilers for Avengers Endgame, just in case you haven't seen it yet. We talk about it in length, just giving you a heads up.
It came from the third dimension.
This is 3D or 2D.com's Duh 3D Show.
Put on your 3D glasses now.
If you're wondering what the 3D stand for, they are discussion, debate, and the news. We hope that you enjoy the show. Get it? The show? Hello. This is Adolph Vega. I have with me James.
Hello, what's up?
And Jake.
Howdy.
And welcome to episode 83. We usually don't do episodes so back-to-back, but we got a ton of news. So, let's start things off with the timestamp, so that way everyone knows when we recorded this. Today is Saturday, July 27th, and we're recording this at 12:52 p.m. Central Standard Time. Things may have changed after this recording, but you're aware of the time we're doing this now. Alright, so James, what's first thing you want to talk about?
Because of because Comic-Con just happened and we have a lot of comic news to kind of discuss, I was thinking we can kind of discuss the non-Comic-Con related news first. So, there's a trailer for a Will Smith movie called Gemini Man, and it's like a thriller involving, clones, right?
Yeah.
So, it looks okay. What do you guys think of it?
This was an explainer trailer. Kind of explains the premise. The first trailer was the action-packed trailer. To nitpick, I think they would have been better off releasing this one first and the action one second.
Yeah.
The CG looks great. The young Will Smith looks totally believable. I don't have any doubts on him. Do you, James, have any doubts looking at him, or no? Is it weird?
It could be okay, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Jake, isn't this filmed at 120 frames per second or something crazy like that?
I don't know for sure, but I hope they release it as a high frame rate 3D looks awesome.
That would be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is actually not exactly 120, but it's pretty high up there. This is the next movie from good old Ang Lee, which I actually really like his work. 120 frames per second, which God knows what theaters are going to be able to see it, have that actually shown that way. But have you seen any high frame rate movies in 3D, Jake?
Yes, I have.
What'd you see?
I saw the Lord of the Rings movies and The Hobbit.
Okay.
The Peter Jackson stuff. I was blessed with having the choice of several screens that could play the high frame rate films.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we did not get Guardians of the Galaxy high frame rate.
How does that look?
To me, it was the most realistic film I'd ever seen. It was ironic because everything I was seeing on screen I knew was CGI, but it felt real.
The Hobbit, for comparison, was 48 frames per second. This is going to be 120. So that's a huge difference. And this frames per second is kind of weird for us, James, because, we're gamers. And we know, 60 frames per second is like what we really want to do all the time. And you want to have TVs that have 120, refresh rate hertz, so these higher frame rates, we're kind of used to it as a video games. We want the higher frame rate. Slower frame rate means choppier. You know what I mean, James?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want the higher frame rates for 3D on television too. Otherwise, when the image moves, you lose the 3D effect and it's choppy.
And most movies, just to make sure we're clear, are 24 frames per second. That's the standard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's keep going here. We got next movie is Akira. Got canceled. Is that right, Jake?
Mm-hmm. I'm not surprised, because they probably saw that Alita didn't join the $1 billion club, so they might have decided to cut their losses.
James, how much do you know about Akira?
Well, it's an anime movie that was released in the 80s, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, based on a manga.
And it was like it's significant because it was like kind of one of the first times anime really had a big impact on the US. I mean, I bet there was instances of it before, but I mean, anime was pretty obscure even in the 90s. So,
Yeah, Akira was the first anime that I had seen in quite a while on the big screen. I mean, when I was really little, there were a few anime features, but they were dubbed in English and the credits angelized, so you were supposed to think it was Americans who did it. But
yeah.
was the first one I had saw where there was no pretense. It was, this is from Japan, this is anime, and the movie doesn't make a whole lick of sense, but you don't really care because the racing sequences on the motorcycles are like, oh my god, these are amazing.
Yeah, it's really kind of a bizarre film. I'm not. The thing about a live action adaptation is I don't know how well it would do to like capture the weird visuals, and to put this into perspective, like a live action Akira film has been in like development hell for the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know necessarily if it's just straight up canceled forever, but it's certainly back in development hell.
So one aspect of this is that the director Taika Waititi is moved on to work on the next Thor movie, which we'll get to eventually in this podcast. But basically, Thor took over, and Akira don't have a director, so it's back in development hell. So, which is fine. I don't think. I mean, this could be just remain an anime and look great. We did see Akira's motorcycle in, was it last year or year before? Is Ready Player One?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, at this point, Akira would probably be best served story-wise to be a streaming show because it's such a big, long, detailed 2-3 hours would not do the story justice.
It's supposed to come out in 2021, so yeah, it looks like it's just probably gone. But let's talk about something else before we get to the comic books. Aladdin has made $1 billion worldwide. James, have you seen this new version of Aladdin yet?
No, I have not actually.
We like it, right, Jake?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Will Smith makes it worth watching.
Never had a friend like, and the crowd goes wild.
Yeah, pretty cool.
For me, the actors that played Aladdin and Jasmine are just kind of bland. Same thing with Jafar. But that's just me. I just didn't. I think they're just flat. But the rest of it was fine. So it was, cool.
Yeah, when Will Smith kind of cut loose as Will Smith, the movie really takes off. But when he's kind of aping Robin Williams, you just kind of feel sad and miss him even more.
Like he has his own twists on some of the songs, James. So it makes it interesting to listen and watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the movie overall is better than the original.
I wouldn't go that far, but...
Oh, I would, mainly because the princess doesn't need rescuing every 5 minutes and stuff like that.
True, but...
She's a much better character.
I'll give you that.
But unfortunately, the actress playing her is pretty bland and The same
don't
way
know.
with Jafar. He's pretty bland too.
I don't know. The one thing that I like already, and I guess you guys can kind of confirm it because you saw it, is like I don't know. You really can't get past the performances of the characters in it because I think, like, especially like Aladdin and Genie, in the animated film,
Mm-hmm.
have very
Likeable personalities.
like dynamic
Yeah.
personalities
Mm.
that don't like, from what I've heard, like, Will Smith does an okay job, but it's not the same.
I feel like this Will Smith version of Genie is a different version and very, very, very good. Almost the same level as Robin, and he basically saves the movie from being really bad because everyone else is totally flat, like totally basic.
Mhm.
So Robin Williams, it's one of those things where in the original I thought everyone was really great. Robin Williams was way better, but still everyone had a really good time. And this one I felt like everyone but Genie was great. But 1 billion, so that means definitely, and Lion King is making tons of money. These live action sequels are definitely coming in most indefinite future.
Yeah, we're probably going to get Aladdin 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Hey! Isn't Aladdin 3 supposed to be pretty good? I think the Jafar's Return.
Haven't seen
The third one involves Aladdin's father. The second one involves Jafar's return, and it was pretty okay.
But we do know about, I think one thing I heard about was that one of the movies that you talked about, James, is actually going to be made. Atlantis is going to be remade with Tom Holland being the main character there. So
really, I mean, I heard rumors about that, but
that's what it looks like. But wasn't Atlantis one of the movies you really wanted to see because that wasn't like a big hit?
Huh? That'd be interesting.
Yeah, we probably should do a podcast about what remakes are theoretical now.
Well, remakes they should make. I mean, the only ones that I think that should be made are like the movies that really haven't gotten a chance, because effectively, like, everything in that early 2000s phase really didn't do well, and really, I mean, they didn't do well financially, but they're really good movies. So, like, Treasure Planet and Atlantis.
Yeah. So I'm guessing they're probably going to be in the mix since it's a hit now, and wasn't there like an animated what's that Russian cartoon?
Anastasia?
Yes,
Yeah,
that one.
Yeah.
They could remake that. Yeah.
Yeah, they should
Yeah.
they should remake Road to El Dorado.
That one too. Yeah.
Yeah. That one deserves it. All the obscure 2000s movies deserve remakes because
they should do
yeah.
a live action Black Cauldron.
Yeah.
How what's some call that got his groove back was pretty fun too. The Emperor's New Groove.
Mhm. Which one?
Oh, I'm trying to remember the one about the frog.
Princess and the Frog?
Yeah, Princess and the Frog.
That one's good.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wish that movies could be made that are in traditional animation instead of live action or CG, but that's an entirely different conversation.
Oh, I agree. I miss hand-drawn cell animation.
Because, and the thing is that it's not dead everywhere. Like, anime is still huge.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just in America, really, where it's on the decline.
It's Disney pushing the 3D CGI kind of stuff.
I mean, I'll be totally fine with Emperor's New Groove being remade. That was a fun movie. Way better than it looked.
Yeah. Well, I don't have an issue with 3D. It's just that it's everything.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. There's no, like, back 20, 25 years ago when it was like a mix that was better. It's like, okay, well, you got Pixar and then you got traditional animation. You know, you had both.
Lilo and Stitch was beautiful with watercolors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that might be one of the later ones. So yeah, Lilo and Stitch is gonna be weird in live action.
Yeah.
I mean, the waves could be fun. I guess Stitch can look really ugly. you know.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Let's get into all the stuff from Comic-Con. So we got a big list. We're just gonna go ahead and well, before we get there, let's do the big mention. Avengers Endgame has officially beaten Avatar as #1 box office.
Yes.
Yay!
Yay. And then Disney's gonna, since they now own Avatar, they're gonna re-release it
Yeah.
to make more money.
They're gonna make the second one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll re-release it right before the second one comes out.
Yeah. So we know when Avatar 1 gets a re-release that the second one is actually gonna get released.
Yeah, I wish we had got a trailer for that any day now. Or at least a teaser. Jesus.
Yeah. Just I'm not gonna hold my breath.
How many times have we mentioned on the show, James, of Avatar being delayed? Like, wasn't it the first episode you mentioned that? Goes way back.
Yeah. James Cameron ain't getting any younger.
I wasn't sure that Avengers was gonna be able to do that because it was so far and but it made enough money, and the re-release didn't really do that much numbers wise, but it did it.
Yeah. It just seems like there was a big uptick of ticket sales internationally while Comic-Con was going on.
Yeah. So that's sort of the big story,
Spider-Man's now $1 billion movie too. Spider-Man: Far From Home just
Yeah.
hit $1 billion.
Effectively because of foreign market, China. I bet there's others, it's much more likely for films to break $1 billion now. It's a lot easier. And I mean, it's pretty much gonna be the status quo.
I'm
That's what I
just
think.
worried that Disney's going to not want to release a movie they don't think will make $1 billion.
Yeah, that is true. However, when we get to talk about the Comic-Con movies, I wonder about that.
So let's go in there. The next Marvel Cinematic Universe movie will be Black Widow, which is coming out on May 1st, 2020. What are your thoughts on the Black Widow movie, finally?
It could be awesome. We'll find out what they mean by Budapest.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully,
Yeah. And David Harbour's playing Red Guardian.
Yeah.
Would that make $1 billion? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about from what I've heard, it's set in between Civil War and Infinity War. And the Black Widow film is something people have been wanting for a long time. So, I mean, it could be good, but
Oh, I figured it'll be good. Will it make $1 billion? I don't know.
yeah. See, here's the thing that I'm gonna say. Once we kind of go over the films, I can see some of the films doing well in the China market, but I can't see all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We'll get there.
China is still a very interesting country.
So, yeah, Black Widow, it's interesting, too, that we're going to wait till May. So, we're going to have a huge stretch in time in between the, July 2nd release, almost a year, until the next one. So, we're not having anything this fall or early spring. So,
yeah.
I don't know if it's supposed to be a prequel, obviously, since it's not after the fact of Endgame. But
Yeah, because she's dead.
so I don't know if it's gonna be like 90s before Avengers 1.
Yeah, from what I've heard, it's in between. It's in between like Civil War, but before Endgame. That's what I've heard. It's not. There was rumors going around it's going to take place in like before Iron Man 1, but apparently that's not true. So I don't know.
I'm totally fine with this movie. I'm just thinking that they should have released this like before Iron Man 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this film should have happened earlier. That's
Hmm.
kind of what,
I'm just worried this is going to be hurt, like the same way Solo was hurt, because who wants to see a movie led by a dead character?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But you never know, because I mean, who would think, if you had asked me, would Captain Marvel break $1 billion? I would have said nope.
Yeah.
And here we are. It did.
All right. So the next movie after Black Widow is The Eternals, which is coming out on November 6th, 2020. So The Eternals, I thought that was going to be a spring release. It's now a fall release. I don't know anything about The Eternals, so I'm kind of worried about that one being kind of too weird for the general public. I don't know.
Kind of
The
obscure.
Eternals aren't hard
Like
to understand. If you've look, Jack Kirby just likes this certain type of mythology.
Yeah.
Started at DC, and then when he left DC, he pretty much just took the new gods, gave them new names, and called them the Eternals.
Effectively, yeah.
And they've gender bent and race bended all the characters to the point. I tell people, I don't think you even need to be familiar with the comic. I think familiarity with the comic will probably be more of an hindrance, because it looks like they've changed these characters up so much.
Yeah.
Like I honestly think Angela Jolie's actually playing Cersei. They've just changed the name because they don't want the Game of Thrones incest jokes.
Oh.
And
Yeah,
I mean, they've changed everybody to the point.
They're like, I don't know, something about it kind of rubs me the wrong way, effectively, because like the only thing that we know about the Eternals film is not really they haven't given the synopsis or anything. I mean, I know the comic book, and it's like, because effectively this is the premise, right? It involves the Celestials, which the Celestials were in Guardians 1, right? They were in the beginning, and they were also like sort of explained. So it involves, okay, because effectively this is what happens. Early, when humans are evolving, the Celestials come down and like divide humanity into 3 categories. There's like the normal humans, there's the deviants, which are like sort of like the backwards version of humans, kind of, and then there's the Eternals. And the Eternals are effectively this group of like, like humanity in its prime evolutionary form or whatever. And the sort of interesting thing about that is that Earth was not the only place where the Celestials did this, like dividing the evolutionary groups into 3 categories. So, like, for example, the Skrull homeworld was divided into 3 groups, and the deviant tribe or whatever was the one that took over, and so now all the Skrulls that you see today are from the deviant cast. So, because they had the ability to shapeshift, that's how they were able to take over. So it's sort of an interesting concept, but the thing about it that I'm worried about is it's more of it's more of like just a lore thing. It's not. I don't know how, because the characters that they have for it are really like interchangeable, and the only thing that's like, oh well, the first openly gay character. It's like, all right, well, what about the movie though? You know what I mean? That's what I'm worried about.
I'm worried that they're going to go with one of the stupid conceits of the series was that all the gods and goddesses were Eternals.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like Gilgamesh, the Legend of Gilgamesh was Gilgamesh, and Marrakesh was the god of speed, and he was retconned to be an early Kirby creation, Hurricane. While they're at it, why don't they make him the Wizard too?
Yeah. I just, I'm just worried, basically.
This has a Inhumans feel to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And effectively, it kind of, there's a lot of overlap because that's another Kirby creation. You gotta remember, like, Jack Kirby had a very specific style, and it's honestly, I will say, really hard to adapt into a film. I would say more so than any of the recent stuff. You know what I mean? Because you have to understand a lot of the MCU is stuff taken from the Ultimate Universe, the Ultimate and the most recent comic books. Kirby's stuff was way older, and so I think it's harder to put into film.
Way out there.
So you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's out there. It's definitely not grounded. It's gonna be a weird movie,
Yeah, I would we'll get to when we get to the rest of the list. I'll kind of summarize kind of my thoughts on everything, but this is the first example where I kind of I'm kind of unsure that of the kind of direction that they're going in, because they're definitely trying to do something new, and while I don't think that's necessarily bad, I'm just
Yeah, I get
what
you.
I mean. Yeah, seems all over the place. No, not really. So then,
Hey, I remember all the critics saying that Guardians of the Galaxy was going to be Marvel's first failure.
Yeah, and we said that, didn't we, James?
Yes. Now, the only thing that I will say to counter that, though, is Guardians, at least the first one, was based upon the critically acclaimed comic made in 2008. And that was, that... I'm just saying, like, their source material was a lot, they had a lot better to work with, than the Eternals, which was like a 12-issue series that Jack Kirby made in the 70s.
But it was retooled by Neil Gaiman and John Romita Jr. Did an update, which that's the series I tell people, if you're not familiar at all with these characters, that's the one you should, because that's probably where Marvel's gonna, that's probably what they hand over to Chloe to direct it. They said, read these, I figure that's what they're going to adapt. That's the one where Sprite gets mad at him, and because Sprite is kind of the Loki of the bunch, where Sprite wipes their memories and they forget who they are and are leading mortal lives.
Okay. So yeah, it's gonna be a different, interesting way to see. I don't know about that making $1 billion, but you never know.
Never know.
So next thing up is Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV show, coming fall 2020, with Zemo returning as the villain.
Yay.
Yes.
Yeah, Daniel Brühl rocked, so that'll be nice.
And this is going to be with the actors, and it's going to be canon, not like the other Marvel TV shows where, you know.
They're not canon.
Yeah, this is done by the studio, so this is going to be part of the MCU proper. And Zemo's going to have his purple mask.
Should.
I don't know how many episodes this will be. I don't know if it'd be like a 13-episode thing or like 8 episodes or how that's going to work. But, you know, it's going to be a Disney Plus thing, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
This is good. I like this idea. This is a fun idea. 2 characters that are good. You know, I'm not super interested in either one of them having their own movie, but both of them together in a TV show, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, so am I. Well, be honest, if they had a movie, I'd set my butt down and watch it.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to lie there.
James, you got anything else to mention about this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of glad that they're kind of doing this, like, just to have it there. I'm just wondering, like, you know, it'll be kind of interesting to see, I guess, like, what they do with it. Because, you know, I don't know.
Alright, so the next movie is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, coming out February 21st, 21.
Yes, Shang.
Oh, I can't wait. My butt is going to be there. I can't wait. I've got to see this.
Yeah.
Especially with Tony Leung Chu Wei announced as the Mandarin. He's one of the finest actors on earth. I've been a fan of his for decades. I cannot wait.
Yes. So we're gonna get a real Chinese Mandarin this time.
He never plays outright villains, but he loves to play morally ambiguous characters. If you've seen Lust, Caution, he's done a lot of movies with John Hard Boiled, and then my favorite, A Bullet in the Head.
Now,
he was
okay,
Chinese Ghost Story 3.
If you know anything about Shang-Chi, then I'm pretty sure that the Mandarin's gonna be taking Fu Manchu's place.
Exactly.
Definitely.
I'm pretty sure of it.
That's honestly the best way to do it, because, you know.
Yeah.
Because essentially his backstory is that he was trained by his father to be an assassin, and then he realizes when he goes out and he's like on a mission, and he realizes, wait a second, the guy my father's evil. Basically, that's his backstory. It's not that complicated, but
yeah. Oh, but I figure they're gonna complicate it, because why else would you cast Tony Leung? I mean, he's a big deal. I mean, this is a guy who won Best Actor at Cannes. And he's won so many Asian film awards, it ain't even funny. This is his first foray into a Hollywood production. He's almost bit on several projects, but it's passed. He's done a lot of international stuff like Cyclo and of course all the Wong Kar-wai. He's been in almost every Wong Kar-wai movie. You know, like In the Mood for Love, Ashes of Time.
So, Jake, who is Shang-Chi, and tell me about
it? He's just, Shang-Chi, the reason the character exists is because of the Kung Fu craze of the 70s.
Shang-Chi, but I could be wrong.
Shang or Shang?
I've heard it pronounced Shang.
Sorry.
Like, with an E, but it's an A. It's weird. It's a weird type of thing.
Yeah. The comic, he's half Asian, half white, martial artist whose father is Fu Manchu.
And you know what's interesting about his powers too? Like, unlike Iron Fist, they're not magic. He's just really good at martial arts.
Yeah. This is not gonna be Iron Fist. Now, there's been some pushback on Simu Liu being cast, but he's a fine actor. He's been in a few things. Just don't ask me off the top of my head. he's played some minor parts and showy parts in a few things. He's gonna be he's been before this casting. He was famous for busting Marvel's chops online about Iron Fist and Asian representation. But it looks like he did a really good audition, which I hope we get to see, because I like to see audition tapes of guys who, get parts, and sometimes the ones of guys and gals who didn't get parts. But like I said, I can't wait for this, and it looks like, and the presentation at Comic-Con showed that the 10 rings have been seeded throughout the Marvel movies. In fact, something I didn't catch, and I feel dumb now, I should have caught it, was one of the bad guys in Ant-Man and the Wasp had a 10 rings tattoo.
What are the 10 rings, Jake?
They're a terrorist organization that was introduced in the first Iron Man movie. Obadiah Stane hired them to kidnap Tony Stark. Spoilers. At this point, if you haven't seen the first Iron Man movie, I just told you a minor plot point that will still be relevant in the future. Go watch it.
Don't these rings have power, though?
We don't know in the MCU. In the comics, fanboys like to argue whether they've got little shards of like Infinity Stones or whatever, but each of them have different abilities, and the Mandarin just wields. I mean, yeah, wouldn't you want to see the Mandarin versus Thanos? Thanos with his gauntlet and the Mandarin with his 10 rings.
And this is going to be huge in Asia.
Oh, with Tony Leung Chiu-Wei, you better believe it.
This will probably make $1 billion there before it even gets here.
Yeah, this will probably opening weekend make $1 billion. Yeah, in fact, they're opening it on Chinese, Asian New Year, because it's not just a Chinese holiday. So excuse me there. Yeah, everybody's going to be off work. Everybody's going to be celebrating. So yeah, they're going, and it's traditionally to release. That's when they traditionally release their biggest movies, is for the Asian New Year. So yeah, Marvel is primed to. Marvel shouldn't screw this up.
All right, so next up is WandaVision, which is a TV show with a horrible name, but whatever. And it's coming out in spring of 2021. And this will lead up to Doctor Strange 2, which we'll get to in a minute. So what do you think of a WandaVision TV show?
Well, we don't know what they're basing it on. There's lots of speculation that this is going to be loosely based on the Vision series with Vision and his family, but
okay,
who knows?
Well, here's what I think that would be a good direction, is if, like, it's sort of like a dark story where it turns out that, like, Vision is there, but he's only basically an illusion created by her. And that, because effectively what happens is, in the comic book at least, she's like she's not an Omega level mutant, but she's insanely powerful, and has like almost reality warping abilities. And so effectively at one point, I believe she wants to have her own family, but androids can't reproduce. And so effectively she just makes her own kids. Like, she just wills them into existence. And then I think at one point they like disappear, and because they're not real. And so she goes insane. And that's actually what leads to like most mutants disappearing. effectively. It's a very complicated story, but effectively, like, her powers can sort of change reality, sort of. And so I think it would be a good, like, because I think it would be lame if, like, Vision's just back. It'd be much better if like he's back and then you realize, like, oh, he's only back because she like, you know, she created him effectively, and like he's not really alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The thing is, they kind of set up Infinity War that Vision may come back, but they never really continue that thread. So I'm guessing this has to do with something going on with Wakanda. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, well, now that Shuri's back, she can fix him.
Maybe.
And we, I've heard guys privately express, I don't know if they have any insight or information comparing this show to Legion. Yeah, the Noah Hawley show.
Yes.
So I'm wondering about this one. This might be a really weird show.
Yeah, they said it's somehow gonna tie into Doctor Strange as well.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know.
It could be really interesting. So I guess that's the segue to talking about Doctor Strange and the
Multiverse of Madness.
Edness.
Which is a
dun dun dun
horror movie coming out on May 7th, 2021, which sounds amazing.
And Kevin Feige said it will be PG-13.
It doesn't have to be R-rated to be good horror.
Yeah.
It could just be really odd, really crazy.
Yeah. Shazam was PG-13, and that boardroom scene put to shame the head-biting scene in Venom. So you can do gore and scary and PG-13 and a superhero thing. David Sandborn proved that with Shazam. And Scott Derrickson is a top-notch horror director. So I have 100% faith that he's going to deliver the goods. I mean, he delivered the first time around. I think he's going to even notch it up for his second go-around with Doctor Strange.
And like Doctor Strange was pretty weird, but they kept it grounded. Now they have total authority to go crazy to the walls, and it's going to be so much fun. I just imagine it could be totally mind trip, totally, just you don't know what reality is anymore. And, they're confirming they mentioned the multiverse in the first one, but I guess the multiverse is going to be a big part of this one. So we're going to have some fun stuff in here. Now that they have the X-Men license, I could see this be a really interesting movie and be able to have multiple universes explained and multiple things shown, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and Scarlet Witch is going to be in here, and they kind of hinted at the inclusion of Clea. For those that don't know, Clea is becomes Doctor Strange's wife in the comics. She's a sorcerer supreme in another dimension and a relative of Dormammu.
James, what are your thoughts on this?
You mean Doctor Strange 2?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's a lot of different directions you can go. I don't want the multiverse. Not yet. I don't think that's... what I don't want is, like, okay, he goes in and there's a billion different Doctor Stranges that you have to work with. No, I don't really want that. I want, like, Nightmare or something. I want, like... Or, anything related to, like, the cosmic horror type stuff. Like, that's what I want. I don't want,
I think Nightmare's good.
He might be in it, but I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of I mean, it's a thing in comic books, but I'm not really a fan of like jumping, like parallel worlds or time travel. I mean, it's it has its place, yes, but it's just done to death, and I'm tired of it. And so, I don't know. It's another like one where it's just like, can we just get a movie?
Well, that is a movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but we just get, simple,
Well, this is definitely the MCU going to be going out to the real comic book and the real psychedelic nature of Doctor Strange, and really embracing all this.
Yeah, but I mean, kinda.
All right, so next up we have a new Loki TV show coming out in the spring of 2021. What do you guys think of Loki having his own TV show?
Interesting. We're getting a-hole Loki, so that should be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, could be okay, but
The logo looks awful.
yeah. Oh yeah, everyone's
Yeah.
making fun of the logo.
Yeah, you ain't gonna move any merch with that crappy logo.
In fact, like one thing that I've seen is a really popular meme is they take the logo words from different things and then they make sentences. Like the serial killer. It's really funny.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that because each letter is different from the last, and
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a ransom note.
Yeah, it's horrible.
so
It's really bad.
this is the Loki that escaped with the Tesseract in Endgame, and I guess made a different timeline. So I guess it's gonna basically, take place in a whole different universe where Loki has a Tesseract, escaped, and I guess maybe he's gonna be like, I'm not gonna even bother with Thanos anymore, But Thanos' part might be playing in this. I think. What do you think?
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe.
I wonder if Doctor Strange is gonna have a tie into this,
Yeah.
Maybe.
because maybe Loki's who created the multiverse. Really?
Maybe.
Because in Thor Ragnarok, he did say to Thor, Doctor Strange, that you need to watch out for your brother. He's done a lot of mischief, and he kept him in the fallen universe for like an hour or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which is amazingly crazy.
Yeah.
So, it must be a good opportunity to have Doctor Strange come back. It's like, what the hell's happening here? With the multiverse and, what kind of mischief he's doing. And, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He meets Sprite and they really get into mischief.
So, yeah. Loki TV show coming spring of 2021 to Disney Plus. And we have something kind of fun. I'm excited for this. Is an animated TV show coming to the MCU in the summer of 2021 called What If?
What if a world where the Russians rule America? Or where your dreams of being superstar came true? Or where San Francisco was a maximum security prison?
Yes, and it will
Yeah.
be animated.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that means they'll get the voice participation of a lot of MCU actors.
Yes.
Now, just in case anyone listening doesn't know what the What If series is, it's basically what it sounds like. Theoretical stories of comics. What if Thor was a woman, which is gonna get to that. But what if Hulk was purple? What if Iron Man is whatever whatever kind of scenarios they could want to throw up there for fun mostly, or to just throw things off. That was in the What If stories. Am I right, Jake?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, What If was one of my favorite Marvel series because it was played. It just you sometimes feel constrained by the shared universe, and this is you can just have flights of fancy, a one-off if the story went this way or that way, and there were lots of, and every once in a while one would become so wildly popular it would become canon, like one they did with the Invaders.
James, what are your thoughts on What If?
It really depends on the type of stories that they decide to do. I mean, I think definitely that making it an animated series is the best way to do it, because it'd be pretty hard to do it live action.
Yeah.
So
Now, what kind of animation is this going to be? Is this going to be, CG or Rick and Morty? I think Rick and Morty kind of style would be fun.
Oh, man!
Yeah, pretty crazy, huh? But it doesn't matter because none of this has anything to do with the show, Morty.
Oh, I just hope it's 2D.
I want anime.
Let's have different episodes being different styles.
Oh, I just hope it's 2D. I just hope it's 2D animation.
Yes. Well, what I want is I want the realistic anime sort of style.
Oh, I could groove on that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh.
But
I just don't want it to look like Family Guy.
it'll look like Simpsons.
Look like Spider-Verse. Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse. That's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I kind of like that too. Where the one thing I like about Spider-Verse, it's a blend of 2D and 3D. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we could have some really fun adventures here that are not canon. Like, what if Venom was Spider-Man? And, Venom is a good guy instead of being a bad guy,
The one thing that I am interested about, though, is, like, they're kind of, with the characters that they have, they're sort of limited in the What If story. Like, because a lot of the very significant stories that I can think of kind of involved like characters that they don't really have yet. So, like, for example, I'm thinking about the one time there was a storyline. It was what if Doctor Doom was the Sorcerer Supreme? And effectively, what happened in that story is Doctor Doom became the Sorcerer Supreme instead of Doctor Strange. And when Doctor Strange actually went to get cured in, like when he went, he broke his hand, right? And he went to get cured in, it wasn't Tibet in the movie, but effectively he went there. Doctor Doom was there, and he effectively just chopped his hands off and gave him robotic hands, and then told him to leave.
Yeah, it could have fun stories. What if the Defenders were actually in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Yeah, exactly.
What if Iron Fist was actually good?
Oh.
Yeah.
What if Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Humans were actually part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Yeah.
Exactly.
What if the Netflix series weren't uncanon?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just, yeah, and the thing that I like most about, the only thing that I have to say is, like, it's a cool concept, but if they're just going to limit themselves to the only stuff in the movies, then they're kind of going to run out of material really quick. That's just all I have to say.
I think they said that they want to focus on the Infinity Saga time frame, so that will probably be where that goes. But, I mean, they could do anything they want, What if Deadpool is in this, gets introduced this way? And what if the X-Men, get introduced this way? Or whatever. I think there's, like, even one what if with, like, the DC combined with the Marvel universe and just had some...
That's an event. But, yeah, Marvel versus DC.
That was fun. And, like, there's also one where, like, they combined, where, like, Captain America combined with Superman.
That's the amalgam universe. So, like, Dark Claw, which is a mixture of Wolverine and Batman.
Which is unstoppable.
And what's it? Spider-Boy, which is a mixture of Spider-Man and Superboy.
Yeah, so there's a lot of fun that could be had. And I'm excited for that. That's going to be fun. So let's keep going here. We got another TV show. Hawkeye gets his own TV show in the fall of 2021.
What are you kidding?
What do you think? And this is going to be on the younger Hawkeye, the daughter Hawkeye, I think, right?
Kate, yeah.
No, it's going to be Hawkeye. They said Kate Bishop's going to be in this. So I guess
Wait,
that
isn't his daughter Kate Bishop?
Yeah.
Or no?
Don't know. At this point, we don't know. There's been no casting announcements. All we know is it's supposed to be Jeremy is going to be training the younger Hawkeye.
Okay, well, what I think they should do, if I was in charge, is I would just set this up so that, Hawkeye could lead his own Avengers team.
Mm-hmm.
Like what they should do is like this should be the prequel to a West Coast Avengers movie. That'd be really cool.
Mm-hmm. Or Young Avengers.
Yeah, because people don't understand. Hawkeye has been the leader of the Avengers a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, know what else they could set up? Thunderbolts.
Yes. Or New Warriors. If I want.
And a rumor I've been hearing, and I haven't seen any hard confirmation, is Sam Rockwell's coming back to the MCU.
Wait, which one was Sam Rockwell?
He played Justin Hammer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think
he's a meme.
In Endgame, he was like training his daughter to, how to use the bow and arrow before the snap, right? Maybe that's connected to here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope she becomes Kate Bishop. I mean, that's my hope, because I just think she's a good actress and she deserves a much bigger part.
Yeah, it's sort of the thing where it's like, I hope that they actually do something with it, because, yeah.
Because a lot of people, I don't think I got confirmation, but maybe that her daughter in Endgame is Kate Bishop, and that's, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
It might be like Arrow, TV show from CW,
Yeah.
So.
Hopefully not.
Yeah. Well, so they gonna base all their stories on 70s Batman?
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. We got Thor 4, Love and Thunder, coming out November 5th, 2021. Oh, no. And this is a little bit confusing. This is the fourth Thor movie, but this is not with Chris Hemsworth. This is with Jane Foster being Thor, right?
We don't know if Chris Hemsworth is going to be in it or not. All we know is it's going to take place before the story's going to take place before Guardians 3. Oh. And that comes from James Gunn.
Oh, okay.
And Waititi is going to be directing this.
Yeah.
And so Jane Foster has been Thor in the comics, and that comic series, she has like cancer, and she gets more sick every time she becomes Thor. I don't know if that whole cancer plot is going to be part of that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I doubt it.
I mean, that comic was pretty, like, I don't know. A lot of people didn't like it, but I don't know. I'm kind of like, if we're getting a Thor movie, it should have Thor in it. not Jane Foster or real, Chris Hemsworth Thor. That's what I think.
I'm just hope they give they should give Jane Foster her own identity, because I mean, Thor I know is a title, but it's also Thor Odin's name.
Yeah, I don't see. Here's the thing, though. I don't really think. I kind of disagree with the idea that whoever wields Mjolnir is Thor, because I mean that's happened a couple times, but I mean there's really only one Thor, you know.
Exactly.
Just like, you know.
And Captain
Thor
America
Odin's-
did turn into Thor, and
Thor Odinson is the only Thor. Effectively, I mean he's the only one that like matters. So I don't know. I was just. It also seems kind of dumb how like Natalie Portman was like, "I'm done with Thor movies," and it's like, "Oh, you want to come back when they're billion-dollar films?" Yeah, okay. That seems, people have been joking about that too.
Yeah.
I mean, in fairness, I would want to leave Thor after Thor: Dark World too.
Yeah,
everyone likes to harp on that one, but I didn't think it was that bad.
Hey, I sat through it twice, so I think I've earned my right to gripe about it.
I bought it on Blu-ray and I watch it every day.
Liar.
Whoa, I'm not even that devoted.
All right, let's keep going.
That's accurate. That's probably the film I've seen the most. Like, all right. I wake up and I'm like, all right, it's time to watch Thor 2.
I don't believe you for a second, James.
Yeah, I'm calling BS on that claim.
All right.
And I'm gonna watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood every week.
All right. Let's keep going. So that's it for the next Phase 4. Now, these next movies are gonna kind of be in Phase 5. They haven't decided yet.
I don't know.
So the next movie is Blade, a reboot with Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali.
Sorry. I'm totally hyped for this. Totally hyped.
Yeah, the guy who played Cottonmouth on the Luke Cage series on Netflix has been cast as Blade.
The only good bad guy in Luke Cage.
Yeah, exactly. Best villain in the Netflix shows.
Until they kill him
I
off for
guess
something stupid.
So I guess we now know the Netflix shows ain't canon in the MCU. We got 100% for unless they're part of the multiverse.
Yeah.
That one meme where it's like they never were.
Yeah, and we saw him being really badass in Alita Battle Angel, so I'm totally game for this.
Uh-huh. Oh, I mean, he's a great actor. I mean, if anybody saw his turn on True Detective, Moonlight, he was in Green Book. I mean, he's done so many great things. I mean, he's got the acting chops. Now, I really hope they make Wesley Snipes Whistler. That would be incredible.
Now, Wesley Snipes, let's go back to Blade. That was a fun movie. Both of the movies, and that was like maybe getting started with the comic book movies being really good. And Wesley Snipes is known to be really hard to work with, so it's really easy to understand why he wasn't picked to come back,
I just think it was age.
That too.
Yeah.
So, James, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I like Blade. It's okay.
Now, Sony's doing a Morpheus movie, so maybe that might be a way to combine Morpheus, the Sony universe, with the MCU.
Morpheus.
Because Morpheus is a vampire, and, Blade goes after vampires, so that might be a fun way of doing that. I don't know.
Vampire Hunter. Oh, I would love it. That would be incredible. And that might be the why they introduced Blade but didn't talk about his movie. Because you also notice they didn't talk about Spider-Man 3 either.
So, let's keep going here with Phase 5, in theory, quote unquote. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 got confirmed to be that, which that's years away because all the problems with director, but it's all solved. So, yeah, no idea if Thor's going to be in that one, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we know we hitched a ride with him, but we don't know if they drop him off in Love and Thunder or it's going to be actually as well. James Gunn said it's not going to be as Guardians of the Galaxy, but we know sometimes Marvel lies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But James Gunn normally doesn't play the lying game, so I would take him at his word.
Yeah.
We got Black Panther 2 confirmed for Phase 5, around probably Phase 5, which I'm fine with. Who do you want to be a villain for Black Panther?
Namor.
Yeah.
Yes. Namor's cool. I want the Defenders movie. That's what I want.
No.
Well, I want real.
Hold on. The real Defenders. Namor, Doctor Strange, the Hulk. Those are the real Defenders.
And you could throw the Silver Surfer in for flavor.
Yeah.
Maybe 3.
Okay, now hear me out. Okay, the thing is that with their contract, that's the only way that you could get both Hulk and Namor in a movie, and you could throw Doctor Strange in too.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have Defenders.
And do the Kirk Busiek storyline where they get cursed, so this amulet just keeps randomly putting them together to do things.
Yes, that'd be the best and it would be called the best defense. Yes. And then we'd act, okay, they'd just take the name Defenders and they would definitely not, wouldn't even reference the other Defenders, like they don't exist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Did you know that the Defenders were like a 70s comic?
Yeah.
That had Hulk, Namor, and...
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were. And Giffen borrowed heavily from it when he did his Justice League International.
I would love Doctor Doom to be the villain.
Yes.
Doctor Doom has his own country, and he's
Australia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And having, there be a war between, Wakanda and, what was the name of it, James, again?
Latveria, I believe. Or Latvia. One thing I love is that even, because it's a Eastern European country, It's also really small, too. It's not a very big country. From what I know, it's just Doctor Doom's kingdom, basically. That's it.
So, yeah, maybe this could be like the entrance to Doctor Doom and get him, he'll fail, but he'll learn from this failure and then he'll become a bigger threat later on. That would be fun, but I don't know.
Yeah. Speaking of films that, are missing, where the frick are... Okay. Here's the thing that I'm wondering about. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, missing. Where the heck is Ant-Man 3? Where is... Ant-Man 3. Where is the X-Men movie? Where is the Fantastic Four? These are the questions that I want answered, See, the thing is Shang-Chi, okay. Blade, okay. But I mean, none of those are the core 9. You know what I mean? The core 9 Marvel series. You know what I mean? I'm talking about.
Well, they did say that Fantastic Four movie is in development and that it's coming, but they don't know if it's Phase 5 or Phase 6. So that's that Fantastic Four is definitely being made.
Yeah, one thing that yeah, they're gonna have to do something.
I don't blame them going low and slow with the Fantastic Four movie. because you have to admit it's got a pretty spotty. When the Roger Corman unreleased version is considered the best,
Yeah.
and Bill Murray, who played Johnny Storm in the radio play, is considered the best Johnny Storm, you've got to be careful, because it's got Fantastic Four has such a bad reputation cinematically. They want to make sure they get it right.
Okay, now hold on though. To be fair, the reason why that is because the 2 or 3 times the film has been made, they're literally just cash grabs to be able to keep the rights to them.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
They've never been actual movies, realistically. I mean, they've been movies technically, but they've never been, we're making a Fantastic Four movie to make a Fantastic Four movie. It's always been, well, if we don't make this movie now, we're going to lose the rights to the characters, so we better make it.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally what happened all 3 times there's been a movie.
Yeah, I agree, and it shows.
Yep, so to be fair, I think the MCU is probably the only place. And I will say, like, the thing that Marvel has, like, over Fox is the fact that they'll stick to a plan and they won't just, like, flip-flop. Like, that's the reason why it's like you have Dark Phoenix after Apocalypse. Like, that's just unacceptable.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're familiar with these characters, and they love it, respect the source material, and understand it.
Yeah, to some degree, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So we also have Captain Marvel 2 coming out in Phase 5, which I don't know what villains could, be there for Captain Marvel.
And we don't know if they're going to stick with the same directors or not. We don't know anything at this point. Other than Brie Larson is going to reprise her part. And there's a presumption we're going to see Monica Rambeau again, because her adult character is going to be popping up in some of the MCU shows.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
So, Jake, what else is missing that James didn't mention?
Well, I figure that the main reason the X-Men is missing, because I think they're trying to decide what they want to call them.
Oh, I thought of another thing that's missing. Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. That part of that could be because that's a Sony movie. So, or they also may be saving it for D23.
How about the Amazing Spider-Man 3? How about that film?
Yeah.
As in the third film in the Web trilogy, the one where Peter gets the elixir to bring people back from the dead.
Okay, stop trolling, James. Stop trolling.
Yeah.
Okay, so good question.
It would
Ant-Man.
be better than the first 2.
Ant-Man.
It's a better premise. Ant-Man. Yeah. Paul Rudd has stated that the third Ant-Man movie's in serious danger of not happening, which would be a damn shame. And that's my biggest fear, is because Disney's gotten to be so big, they may not be interested in making movies that potentially aren't guaranteed to have $1 billion box office. Ant-Man movies are very profitable, but they're only making a little north of $500 million.
I'm fine with that.
And Peyton Reed is everybody's favorite choice to do Fantastic Four, because the kids have discovered his pitch for Fantastic Four, which was a good pitch. I don't know if it would be a great pitch nowadays. I mean, I would gladly sit my butt down and watch his pitch as a movie. I mean, as kind of 60s rock star celebrities who kind of travel through time in different dimensions, I mean, would be awesome. But I also it probably could use a little bit of an update. premise-wise.
I liked Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I'm fine with not having a third one. And, the story kind of wrapped up. They have the mom back, and everything got. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with Ghost. That's kind of lost, right?
Yeah, and Goliath.
Yeah.
I would love to visit more with Goliath. And I could see Hank Pym knowing Reed Richards.
Yeah.
We don't have a Incredible Hulk 2.
Yeah,
No.
that's not going to happen because Universal and Disney can't come to an agreement. When Marvel was being distributed by Paramount, they came to an agreement, but looks like Universal's not willing to come to any agreement with Disney.
And Iron Patriot screwed. He doesn't have a TV show or a movie.
Yeah, no love for Rhodey.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of sad that,
That's maybe they're waiting for a good pitch.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad that Hawkeye doesn't get a movie.
I would bet he's going to be in the Black Widow movie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And they may gauge and see how audiences respond to his character, whether they spin him off in a solo film.
So, is Falcon going to be Falcon, or is he going to be new Captain America?
That is a very good question.
I mean, we could.
There has been some statements that he's going to have the shield and possibly a new Captain America outfit. Maybe it's the time period from getting the shield to whenever there's another Avengers movie announced. I figure. I'm trying to remember when Endgame was it 2025 when they were fighting Thanos the last time? Because I imagine a lot of what's going on in the MCU is going to be playing catch up to the timeline of Endgame.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, they could have a Captain America 4 and just have, new version of Captain America there,
That sounds good to me.
Oh, we don't. Yeah,
well,
we don't know what's going on with Sam Jackson as Nick Fury.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't.
And we've got all the questions.
Which leads
We have
to
no idea.
what's going on with S.H.I.E.L.D. because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is ending with season 7 next year.
Well, I mean, as much as I like it, it's not really relevant, unfortunately.
Have you watched this season, James?
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of the 6th season. All right, it's already released, right?
Yeah. Jake, have you seen this season?
I haven't seen it all, but I've seen a bit of it.
It's fun, but it had nothing to do with anything going on.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of its standalone own thing.
Yeah, it's like the Fox X-Men movies. Like, sure, it's okay. It's just not connected. I mean, they sort of showed their hand when they were asked, like, they were asked like what they do for Infinity War, and they're like, oh yeah, we did not read, and we didn't know what would happen in Infinity War. No one told us, so we just completely ignored the events of the movie. I'm like, all right, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feige slammed his fist down. He just showed him who's boss.
At the very least, they're going to have one final season to wrap things up. They were thinking that last season, season 5, was going to be the last season. And, they got another one. They weren't sure what to do. And now for sure, they're going to have one more year to try to figure things out. Maybe they're just in a different multiverse and they didn't know that they were in another multiverse.
Yeah, here's the problem, though. That's sort of like, that's not a subversion of what we already thought, though. That's like, the twist would be that it's in continuity, not that it's its own thing. Because as it stands right now, that's what we all assume because of the fact that it's like none of this stuff is relevant. Like I like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I don't know. I wish there was stuff that actually connects.
Yeah, really connect, other than Lady Sif showing up and Nick Fury showing up.
Yeah, it really feels like Disney has learned a lesson, and who they're doing the TV shows now, they know, okay, we're going to just put it in the universe, have the actors have a contract, they're going to be in TV, they're not going to be too, I need a $5 million TV episode contract. No, they're just going to be part of the TV. That's their contract. They do some TV, they do some movies, it's going to be all together. And at least now they're fixing it, but it's really sad. It's really sad that Netflix and...
Well, it's sad that basically, all these shows aren't never going to be reconciled. They're just going to be acted like they don't exist. And then we're just going to have to wait a hell of a long time for, these characters to ever show up again. And when they do, it's probably going to be another actor. So kind of pissed off, because the thing is that this is not what we were promised, and this is not what we were told. So, and if you remember, this has always been an issue. This has been an issue for 3 or 4 years ago. We were talking about this problem, and I always had the feeling in the back of my head, like they're always like, oh yeah, we'll connect it. We'll put them in the film. It's like, no, they're never going to do that, because they hate each other. That's the reason why. It's not because of any in-universe reason. People are not stupid. Audiences are not stupid. And having, this argument that, like, if you put Daredevil in Infinity War, people are going to be confused. It's not like that's going to subtract from the sales. People are dumb. People are, and I mean dumb in the sense of their petty squabbling is stupid, and I hate it.
Yeah. Nobody was confused with Jarvis showing up. In fact, people were excited.
Or Howard the Duck, for God's sakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the Howard the Duck
Jarvis
movie?
You knew why Tony called his AI Jarvis. It gave a concrete reason.
Yeah.
And all the Netflix TV actors do a great job. I love Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones. Charlie Cox is awesome in Daredevil. Mike Coulter is really good in Luke Cage, and even Finn Jones, well, he was okay as Iron Fist. He was still okay. Season 2 is way better than season 1.
He wasn't terrible. People like to here's the thing. He was only considered bad because of the rest of the actors were so good. That's effectively the reason why.
Yeah, and it was so. His character was so poorly written.
And Quake was a great character.
Yeah. And now it's all gone effectively, and now we have to wait. Like,
I don't want another Daredevil.
I don't. See, the worst part is that the way I see it, we're most likely going to get like a movie. It's not going to have anything to do with the series.
Yeah,
it makes me mad.
No, you're right.
And it's such a betrayal of, like, the thing is that, okay, if when these Netflix series were being made, they outright said, all right, these are Netflix doing its own thing, don't consider this part of the MCU, I would have been like, that sucks, but okay. They basically lied to get people to watch it. That's the thing that I hate.
Yeah, exactly.
They did the bare minimum. They said, oh, something happened in New York. They never said, like, outright that it was the Avengers at any point. But they're like, oh, something happened in New York. Like, they made it vague enough to seem like it was part of,
And we've been burnt twice already. So I don't see why anybody's going to take them at their word to say that the Disney Plus shows are going to truly be connected.
Yeah, like here's the thing. You know, the idea of having a connected show and movie like experience is something that no one's ever done, and something that we kind of got a glimpse of with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but besides season 1, we've never experienced that. We've never gotten that. And the reason why is because it's risky, and people don't want to take risks, and that's stupid and dumb. And the people who, don't want to innovate shouldn't, be in charge. What should matter more than, let's say, the exact sales number, which I honestly think is a fake argument. I think that's a bad argument because they're going to make tons of money anyway, regardless of what you do, So doing that just because the story's more important than the money. That's what it comes down to. The story and telling a larger connected, universe, that is more important than, maybe one person in the audience won't know who that is. Like, yeah, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, just look at what Paramount did with Star Trek. First, when they brought it to the big screen, they let Robert Wise do it, who was not familiar with Trek. And he puts him in pajamas, and it's a G-rated snooze fest.
Yeah.
Then they tie it into the TV series with Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan, made a ton of money, and had fans just breathed new life into that franchise. Yeah, it took William Shatner versus God to almost kill it.
Yeah.
And, some of the actors here, Vincent D'Onofrio, which played Fisk,
Kingpin was amazing.
He is amazing. And that is a movie Oscar caliber quality there. And he should be in the movies. Daredevil Fisk is a great character for the movies. It would be really interesting to see him in, Spider-Man. And it's so frustrating because you have great actors here and really fantastic talent that's just not going to go anywhere. And, I can understand that some of their scale, they don't want to always be here and there, but they could easily be here occasionally. I'm still pissed off that Infinity War, you didn't see Luke Cage out there helping crowd control. That could have been something that's there. Easy. He's helping Harlem. That's easy writing. That's nothing too hard. And we're like, all right, I'm here to help out. What do you need to do? I'm Luke Cage. Cool. And if you don't watch the show, you understand it. That's just talking to one another. Just like the Spider-Man Sony people, they talked to Marvel when they made Spider-Man Far From Home. That's why it worked. That's why it worked after Endgame, because they talked to one another. That's all they needed. Talk to one another. Stop having this, dick measuring contest. Well, you're TV. You're not good enough. No, crap.
Perlmutter and, Feige need to be, beaten with rods to, work together effectively. That's what needs to happen. The people need to be enforced to,
Putterman just needs to go, because Feige's tried to work with him, and Ike Putterman is one of these guys, my way or the highway. So he needs to go.
Yeah. I just do not.
He's just messing up everything. He just needs to not have his fingers on any of it.
Exactly. It's we need to enforce the make sure that there's no.
Jeff Loeb needs to just be beaten with a rod too.
All right, we mean figuratively, not literally, so that way people don't get onto us.
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm not advocating for real world violence, especially in the wake of some of the crap that's been happening. Yeah, like Simon Yam getting stabbed by a crazed fan. I mean, we don't need that in the real. We don't need any more of this nonsense in the real world.
So
You save it for the fiction.
yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with Disney Plus. I mean, Disney Plus should be an instant hit and something that everyone's going to do. It's $7 a month. That's a great bargain for everything they're going to put on there. So, I think there's still going to be some casuals that get mad because I didn't want to watch WandaVision and, whatever, but I think they're smart enough. I give them credit, make them, I think they're going to be fine. They'll be smart enough to write around it and make sure. You just have to communicate. That's all we're asking for. Communicate between the people, and you can have some great stories. And, I would have loved to see Charlie Cox, Daredevil, train Spider-Man. It would have been awesome,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Or show us lawyer.
you're going to need a lawyer after his identity being revealed.
Exactly. I imagine he's going to want to do something about that video. He's going to need a lawyer.
Exactly. You could connect them easily. However, they won't because they're stupid. Effectively, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Ego is getting in the way of that. I mean, okay, I can understand saying that the Inhumans never happened. I can understand doing that. But,
Yeah, I want to hear Wanda go in the Doctor Strange movie. No more Inhumans.
No more Inhumans. Yeah.
The reason...
If Thanos blew up the moon and all the Inhumans died, then, I mean...
I'm an Inhumans fan. I like the comics. But because that was one of Kirby's coolest creations in him and Stan Lee's Fantastic Four run. But that series just killed me.
It was horrible. And it was made by the same person who freaking, what's his name, Beck? Just terrible. Like, why was he allowed to do anything? He's inept. He's written the worst series out of all of that. Like, the ones that people hate the most, he's behind. Like, he just does not know how to do anything right. I don't know why they ever put him in charge of anything.
I know, and they knew they had a tiny budget, but they tried to do stuff that was impossible to do with that small amount of money.
The whole reason the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been as successful as it has been is because they're connected. And they were smart enough to get it together. And that's why. So why is that so hard for executives to be like, yeah, these TV shows don't connect? Like, no.
Okay, because here's the problem. They think connecting the universes is as simple as, referencing it loosely. Not, that's the easy way out. What people actually want is for the consequences in the show to affect the movies and vice versa. That's what people want. But unfortunately, that would require effort. And so, that would require work.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
the whole 5 years in Endgame, that's so ripe for TV. So ripe.
Mm-hmm.
And we're never going to get that. I don't think we'll ever get what the hell happened in that 5 years. We might get like a flashback here or there, but a TV show could have done wonders to help explain what happened there,
Yeah, I was hoping that's what Disney Plus shows were going to be.
What they could have done very easily is just have a show that is a show that is kind of grand in scale and focus on the entire universe space effectively during the 5 years. And you wouldn't need everyone there because of the snap and what happened. So you'd only need certain, maybe not all the defenders were there. Maybe two or three of them were dusted,
Yeah.
So effectively, you don't even need all the cast, and that seems so easy to do. Like, if you were to take, let's say,
some of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. actors, some of the, characters from the Netflix series, and just have, like, a sort of, like, a grand scale kind of thing that, like, explains what happened during the 5 years. And you could, have cameos from the, surviving Avengers.
Yeah, definitely.
So
would have loved that, but probably never gonna get it. So we'll see how the Disney Plus TV shows work, if they don't work, or if they have multiple seasons, or if they're just one season and done, or if it's just like 8 episodes, or if it's just like 4 episodes, and you just get a little bit, and then, we don't know, but we'll see. And let's talk about the DC news, which we got nothing.
Yeah, we got nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, we got that the Batman, where the new Batman movie is going to hire the cinematographer from Rogue One, which is a fantastic decision.
Yeah.
Rogue One is gorgeous.
Greg Fraser. Another movie that his cinematography people oohed and awed at was O Dark 30.
So, I mean, the next DC movie is Birds of Prey, and we haven't seen a trailer or teaser for it or anything.
Yeah, just some social media bits shot on set.
The Joker movie looks cool, but that's not connected to anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
there's
Joker movie's gonna. Yeah.
There's this. Oh, the trailer looks awesome. I mean, but to me, it looks like it's going to be a wannabe Martin Scorsese King of Comedy.
Yeah.
Which could be a good movie, but it's still going to be a pale imitation of King of Comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know what's happening with DC, really. It's Warner Brothers.
I don't think so. Yeah, Warner Brothers, just heads are on the chopping block there.
Superman, or Henry Cavill wants to play Superman again, but they don't know when the hell that might happen.
And Ben Affleck is getting back in shape, so hell, maybe Marvel's going to bring him back as Daredevil. Who knows? I doubt he's going to be Batman again.
I mean, I heard a lot of news about the CW verse, which we're not going to get into, but they're going to do some interesting things there with having the Crisis on Multiple Earths, and there's a lot of rumors going out there, and I don't even know half of them are true or not true, and that they're going to try to combine the movie universes and the TV universes.
Well,
or something.
Burt Ward is coming back as Robin.
And then I heard that Smallville is going to be back, but I don't know if that's true or not. And, what's his name? Tom Welling.
Yeah, Rosenbaum said he didn't know anything about it, so on his show.
But it's just one of those things. It's like that would be cool if CW could pull that off and have there's rumors that Brandon Routh is going to reprise his role as Superman in that, and
that's pretty confirmed.
So it's that would be fun. That's at least them doing something. At least the CW show.
Yeah, he's gonna be the Kingdom Come Superman.
At least the CW shows are connected,
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
I mean, except for Black Lightning.
But I don't think any of us are going to go out and get Batwoman tattoos anytime soon.
No. All right. I think that's going to be it for this extra long episode. Anything else you want to throw out there?
Yeah.
Nah, I think we just about said it all.
All right.
Good.
All right, bye.
See ya.
Bye.
All right, before this podcast ends, I want to give a thank you to my patrons. Right now, we have one patron, which is David from Spain, and I want to thank you for your financial support. All right, so that's going to be it for this podcast.
We now have a Patreon, and the link is in the description. Thanks for watching.
And we are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, a little bit everywhere. Just look for us, 3D or 2D. And of course, review us on iTunes. And if you want to write us a letter, our email address is email3dortwo d@gmail.com. So that's going to be it. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.